There are moments in life when everything seems to happen at once. Something you trusted breaks, someone you depended on walks away, a plan you worked for suddenly collapses. You give your best, yet the result still does not go the way you expected. And in those moments, the real challenge is not only what happened outside of you. The real challenge is what begins happening inside of you. Your mind starts asking questions. Your emotions become heavier. You replay conversations. You imagine different outcomes. You wonder what you could have done differently. And slowly, without realizing it, you begin fighting a battle that has already happened. But life is not asking you to become someone who never experiences pain. It is asking you to become someone who knows what to do when pain arrives. Because difficult moments reveal your habits, your beliefs, your discipline, and your relationship with yourself. When everything is comfortable, almost anyone can appear strong. But when life takes away your certainty, your comfort, or your control, that is when your inner training truly begins. You must learn that being strong does not mean pretending that nothing hurts. Strength means feeling the pain without allowing it to decide who you become. There will be moments when you cannot control the situation. You cannot control another person's choices. You cannot control the timing of events. You cannot control every loss, rejection, disappointment, or unexpected change. But there is one territory that remains yours, your response. And that is where your power begins. When life hits you hard, you do not need to fix everything at once. You do not need to understand the entire future. You do not need to have all the answers. You need to return to yourself. You need to become quiet enough to see clearly, disciplined enough to take the next step, and wise enough to turn your experience into something that strengthens you. Because the goal is not simply to survive difficult seasons. The goal is to walk through them and come out with greater clarity, greater self-respect, greater discipline, and a deeper understanding of who you are. So when life hits you hard, remember, this moment is not your entire life. It is only a moment. And what you do next can change everything. When life hits you hard, your first instinct may be to resist it. You may wish things were different. You may replay the past and ask yourself what you could have done, what you should have said, or why someone treated you the way they did. But the more you fight against something that has already happened, the more energy you give to a reality you can no longer change. There is a quiet strength in saying, "This is what happened. I may not like it, but I will face it." This is not weakness, it is clarity. Acceptance does not mean approving of what happened. It does not mean saying that disappointment, betrayal, failure, or loss was good. It simply means you stop wasting your present moment trying to rewrite the past. Think about how much energy is lost through resistance. You replay the conversation. You imagine another ending. You wish someone had behaved differently. You wonder why your efforts were not enough. But none of these thoughts can change what has already occurred. The past can teach you, but it cannot be lived again. Your power exists in the present. Once you accept reality, you can finally ask a better question. What can I do now? That question moves you from helplessness toward responsibility. Maybe you cannot recover what you lost, but you can decide what you learn from it. Maybe you cannot control another person's behavior, but you can control the boundaries you establish. Maybe you cannot change the failure, but you can change the habits that produced it. Acceptance creates space for action. And sometimes the strongest thing you can do is stop demanding that life return to the way it was. Perhaps it is time to become someone who can move forward without needing the past to change first. Do not make peace with your circumstances because you are defeated. Make peace with reality because you understand that your energy is valuable. You have limited attention, limited time, limited emotional energy. Do not spend all of it fighting yesterday. Look at what remains. Your breath remains. Your ability to learn remains. Your ability to choose remains. Your ability to begin again remains. And as long as you can choose your next step, the story is not finished. When life becomes difficult, one of the most important things you can learn is to stop fighting what has already happened. This does not mean you approve of it. It does not mean you stop caring. It does not mean you become passive and allow life to control you. It means you stop wasting your energy trying to change something that has already become part of your past. There are things you can repair, and there are things you can only accept. A person may have left, a relationship may have ended, an opportunity may have disappeared, a decision may have been made without your permission, a mistake may have already happened. Your mind may continue returning to the same question. What if I had done something differently? But repeatedly visiting the past does not give you a new future. You cannot move forward while constantly negotiating with yesterday. Acceptance is the moment when you stop saying, "This should not have happened," and begin asking, "What can I do now?" That question changes your entire position. Instead of being trapped inside the event, you begin looking for the lesson. Instead of asking why life is unfair, you begin asking what this experience can teach you. Instead of trying to control what cannot be controlled, you begin directing your attention toward what remains within your control. Your energy is limited. Your attention is limited. Your time is limited. Do not spend all three fighting reality. Use them to build your next step. Sometimes acceptance feels painful because your ego wants a different story. It wants the person to return. It wants the apology. It wants the opportunity restored. It wants the past to become different. But maturity means understanding that peace does not always come from getting the ending you wanted. Sometimes peace comes from no longer needing the ending to change. You can acknowledge the pain and still move forward. You can miss someone and still choose yourself. You can regret a mistake and still learn from it. You can be disappointed and still continue. The past deserves understanding, but it does not deserve ownership of your future. So take a breath. Look at where you are without exaggerating it and without denying it. Say, "This is what happened. This is where I am. Now, what is the wisest thing I can do?" Then take that step. You may not control what happened, but you still have a say in what happens next. When life becomes difficult, one of the first things you must learn is how to protect your mind. A painful situation is already heavy enough. You do not need to make it heavier by allowing your thoughts to run without direction. Your mind will naturally search for explanation. It will replay what happened, imagine what could have happened, and create stories about what might happen next. But when emotions are intense, the mind does not always tell the truth. Fear can make a small problem look enormous. Disappointment can make the future look hopeless. Rejection can make you question your entire worth. This is why mental discipline becomes essential. You must learn to separate what happened from what you are telling yourself about what happened. Maybe you failed. That does not mean you are a failure. Maybe someone rejected you. That does not mean you are unworthy. Maybe a relationship ended. That does not mean you will always be alone. Maybe an opportunity disappeared. That does not mean your future has disappeared with it. Do not allow one event to become an identity. When your mind becomes overwhelmed, return to what is within your control. Slow your breathing. Step away from unnecessary noise. Spend time in silence. Walk without your phone. Write down what you are feeling. Sleep properly. Move your body. Give your nervous system the opportunity to settle before making major decisions. You do not need to solve your entire life while you are emotionally exhausted. First, become calm, then become clear, then act. Protecting your mind also means becoming careful about what you repeatedly consume. If you constantly surround yourself with negativity, comparison, outrage, and fear, your internal world will eventually reflect it. Your attention is one of your most valuable resources. Do not give it to everything that demands it. When you protect your attention, you protect your energy. When you protect your energy, you become more capable of responding intelligently to difficult circumstances. Remember, peace is not the absence of problems. Peace is the ability to remain grounded while problems exist. Life may disturb your circumstances, but you can train yourself not to surrender your entire inner world to those circumstances. That is real strength, not controlling everything around you, but learning to remain steady within yourself. When life hits you hard, one of the most powerful things you can do is stop asking, "Why did this happen to me?" and begin asking, "What can I become because of this?" You may not have chosen the situation, but you can choose what you build from it. Pain can either become an excuse to stop moving or a reason to become more disciplined. The difference is not in the event itself. The difference is in the response. There will be days when you do not feel motivated. There will be mornings when getting out of bed feels heavier than usual. There will be moments when your mind tells you to give up, isolate yourself, or wait until everything feels better. But discipline teaches you something important. You do not have to feel ready before you take the next step. Start small. Do the work that needs to be done. Take care of your body. Keep your environment organized. Complete one responsibility. Spend less time feeding negative thoughts and more time building useful habits. You are not trying to become perfect. You are training yourself to remain responsible for your life even when your emotions are unstable. This is how setbacks can become strength. Every time you keep a promise to yourself during a difficult period, you rebuild trust with yourself. Every time you choose action instead of endless overthinking, you become more capable. Every time you continue despite discomfort, You teach your mind that pain does not automatically mean stop. Eventually, you begin to understand something profound. Confidence does not always come before action. Sometimes confidence is created by action. You become stronger because you repeatedly prove to yourself that you can handle difficult days. Do not underestimate small victories. A difficult day survived with dignity is a victory. A negative thought interrupted is a victory. Getting back to your routine is a victory. Choosing not to react impulsively is a victory. Taking one step toward your future when your mind wants to remain trapped in the past is a victory. Your setback does not need to disappear for you to grow. You can grow while it is still difficult. And one day, you may look back at the period that almost broke you and realize that it was also the period that taught you how to stand without depending on everything around you being stable. That is real strength, not avoiding hardship, but using hardship to build a stronger version of yourself.